Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at a very interesting product and one that came out quite a long time ago but hasn't gotten many reviews. The only reviews that I found are in German, which I know are not accessible for some people, so I'm here making this review for you because this is something that I actually use and really like, and that's going to be a theme of the upcoming reviews because I've not seen many tricks coming out lately that I've been interested in purchasing for myself. And since you know that these are all tricks that I buy myself and I don't get sent anything, I didn't really want to pay money for tricks that I'm never going to use and just make a review of and put them in the drawer. So the recurring theme of the next few videos are going to be things that I use professionally but that I've never made reviews on because they're always in my case and I kind of forget that they're there because I just take them to the gigs but don't take them out of the case. So I usually don't see them that often compared to the things in my shelves that I can be like, okay, this week we're going to review that. So enough said about that. We're going to be diving into depicting thoughts and yeah, let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about depicting thoughts. So what is this? This is essentially a deck of cards that is going to allow you to do different mentalism feats, whether it's drawing duplications, memory reveals, remote viewing, mind reading for multiple people. No matter the effects that you want to achieve or the effects that you can think of with a picture deck, you can achieve with depicting thoughts. So in terms of performance, I won't perform the entire thing for you, but I will give you a walkthrough of the way that I perform it because I feel that's going to give you the best idea of how this works. So essentially, the way that I perform it is I will introduce here the cards with all the information on the box, which we're going to talk about later on in the review. Then I would proceed to have a spectator cut somewhere. Let's say they cut here. They're going to take a look at the card, they're going to remember the card, and then I'm going to be able to reveal the card. So I'm going to do like a direct mind reading reveal and reveal what they're thinking of. Afterwards, what I'm going to do is where it gets a bit more interesting. They're going to be able to cut the deck multiple times, and whenever they want, they stop. My head is turned around, and they take 3 cards from the top of the deck, and they place them in their pocket or on the table or behind a glass without looking at them. So I then proceed to tell them that this is an experience that we're going to do that's called remote viewing. That's seeing without actually seeing different things. And the way that we're going to do this, I have to be in total darkness. So I take usually a blindfold or a bandana, and I bandana my eyes so I can't see anything. Then I take my clipboard or my kind of book that's with blank pages, and I say, look, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get a sense of the cards that we haven't even seen. And this is a bit difficult. So I'm going to try and get the impressions here. And then you would essentially, what I do is I write one word, I draw one, and I've kind of the other one, I put it into like a different picture. So for example, if the image is like a teapot, I would draw like a tea party or something. And all of this is while I'm blindfolded. And then I remove my blindfold and I say, let's see what I drew and wrote. And then if I'm like, okay, so this is what I drew. I drew this, this, and this. And these are just the things that came to my head. But you haven't checked the cards, right? They're going to say no. And then you proceed to tell them, can you remove them and place them here? And then you show, interesting, the first one is a palm tree. And I had here a word that came to me, and it was palm tree. Then the second one was a hammer. And what I drew here is a hammer and a nail. That's exactly what I had. And the last one that I got here was, for example, some glasses. Can we check what the last one is? And you turn it over and it's glasses. So this routine that I do, these 2 phases with all the presentational hooks and stuff, is like 5 minutes long. So it's a really good piece that you can do in different occasions, but it doesn't have to be that long. You can just do 1 or 2 phases and you can just do it really quickly, which is really nice. And we're going to dissect all of that right now. But first, where do you buy this? How much does it cost? And what do you get? So you can buy this from Card Shark, but you can also buy this from a lot of other magic shops. I know ALAKAZAM has it in stock. I know that my local magic shop has it in stock. I think that even Vanishing Ink has it. So a bunch of magic shops have it in stock. I know Mind Effects also has it, and it's currently on sale. I think $20 off on Mind Effects, but I may be wrong, but I do think it's on sale there. So if you're really interested, you can check it out there. But you can buy this from various different places. I'm sure if you look for it, you're going to find it. This will set you back 75 US dollars, which is around 96 to 100 Canadian. And what you get is different things. First, you're going to get this small box. And inside of this box, you're going to get your cards and your box. So the box is fully made from scratch, and it has information from an actual institute that they created, and your spectator can even check on the website. So I do this like part of my story, that I'm part of that institute. I was part of some tests, and they sent me this to try and test it out during the COVID period while people were at home. They wanted to test different things, so I participated. You can do a whole spiel. They talk about that in the instructions. I'm going to talk about that again in a moment. So you get the box, which is very well made and kind of a prop in your performance if you so wish. Then you get the cards. These are the cards. They look very simple on the back, and the drawings on them are very nice and very simple. So it's very easy to get an impression of what everything is from your spectator. For example, if they look at this, there's no mistaking that that's a fish, right? But you can also play it a bit more from there. And for example, the fish, if you know that they're thinking of a fish, you can ask them to think of an activity that they could do with that. You could maybe have them think of going fishing. You can maybe having them think of eating fish, maybe watching a movie, maybe going swimming. So you can really play around with these images. They're very kind of captivating, and you can easily use them to push the spectator and maybe even get a memory from them. So you get these cards. These cards are also marked. So they are marked. The marks are very, very subtle. And it's not easy marks. So for example, I can't look at this card and know directly that it's, for example, an X card, right? It's a bit more complicated than that. The markings more give you a number, but it's hidden. So the markings are something that you're going to have to put work in if you want. So if you want the markings, you're going to have to put in work in learning them, because there's nothing on the back here that tells you this is a certain object or a certain thing. So I don't want it to spoil too much regarding the markings, but they're very subtle, they're very small. So it's something personally that I won't use. I don't see myself using the markings. Initially, the first batch of these had no markings because they felt it was useless. And personally for me, I don't see myself using them at all. So it's not an issue. But if you want to use the marks, they're very, very subtle, and they code you to a number, not the object. Which gets me to our second thing, is as you may have kind of had an idea, you can use these shuffled and do routines with them shuffled. But if you want to do a lot of the routines, these have to remain in a certain order, right? I won't say too much. I think you already kind of understand what that is. But yeah, those are the cards that you get, and they're also made kind of normal cardstock. They're not plastic. So additionally to the box, the sleeve to carry around your cards, and the playing cards themselves, you get 3 PDFs. So you get one PDF, which is around 300 pages long, which goes over how to memorize everything that you need to, how this works, why they did it, how they did it. They even give you software that you can use to make a spectator like do a test online for them before actually doing the experiment. So they sign up with their name, date, etc. And it kind of gives them a profile. Then they also give you some sheets of paper that you can print out, that you tell them, look, I'm part of this group and we're trying to test something out. Do you mind if you're part of the test? And they can like put their signature on like an official document. That PDF is loaded with stuff presentation wise, but also effects, methods, and ideas. It's a very good PDF. It is very long, so you'll have to sit down and read it. Then you also get another PDF, which is about the markings and how to use the markings intuitively, how to peek them, etc. That is around 30-ish pages long. And then you get an extra PDF, which is kind of an update on some of the older things that they explain, because this is a very old project, but Cardshark kind of updated it with a few new twists, and those are explained in the last PDF. So on top of all of this, on top of the 3 PDFs, which together are like 500 pages, the deck of cards, the box, and the sleeve, you are also getting an app. And the app is a trainer for you to help you memorize what you need to. So you can use that app in the metro, in the bus. You can use it while eating. You can use it while on the couch if you want to test your memory. It's very, very cool and very nice that they provide that to you, so that you're able to constantly kind of train yourself to remember the cards if need be. So you get all of that provided to you. So, having said that, let's get into difficulty. So what is the difficulty of this, of depicting thoughts? And the difficulty is dependent on your memory. If we're being honest here, if you buy this deck, you're not going to just want to shuffle it and do it with an unshuffled deck of images. For that, there's other products in the market that you can use that will better suit your need. However, if you have a good memory and you're willing to learn, even if you don't have a good memory, these are very intuitive, but you still have to learn them, and you're provided a lot of resources, as I mentioned, in the PDFs and in the app to learn this. That's how easy or hard it's going to be. If you have a really bad memory, this is 50, a stack of 50. This is not like ABC by Spidey or MSP, which is 26. This is 50 to 54 cards. I use 50, but you can use 54. So this is a lot of cards to remember. It's a full stack of 50. So you will have to put in the time to learn this, right? They're easy to learn, but it will still take you time and you'll have to keep practicing, right? For example, for myself, for now, I'm really familiar with the first 26, even though I've been using this for a very long time. For the last, for example, 10, 15 cards, sometimes my memory gets hazy and I have a crib, which is, I forgot to mention, they also include 3 different style cribs that you can use in performance. So I have one implemented in my pad in case I panic or something. But yeah, so even with performing this a lot, sometimes, your memory gets hazy on you. And you have that backup with you as well. But you have to essentially memorize. There's no outs and abouts about that. Except for that, there's no real sleights here. There's no real moves. There's no real complicated things that you have to learn. So all you have to do is learn the cards. So difficulty-wise depends on how well you memorize a stack of cards. That's simple as that. Moving on to practicality. So how practical is this? This is very practical. So for most of the routines, all you'll have to carry around is your deck in the box. And you're good to go. That's it. And you're ready to blow some minds. However, if you want to add some touches presentationally, you can carry around, as I mentioned, like the paper to have them signed, to make it like a kind of an official test. You can also carry, like I do, a pad where you can draw and use the pad to like get impressions. That's what I like to do, so I carry around the pad, but if you don't want to, you don't really need to. But yeah, extra accessories you can use, but if not, practicality-wise, you just need the deck and you're good to go. There's enough presentation built into the card box and into the deck itself to carry you over. In terms of inspectability, fully inspectable. Inspectors can inspect them. There's nothing really to see. Angle-wise as well, can be 360. There's no real angle restrictions here whatsoever. You can just perform this without a problem. Repeatability. This is not, like, as I mentioned, a force deck or anything, so you can repeat this the entire night with different results at every single table. In terms of reset, if the deck does drop or does get mixed during the performance, you will have to rearrange it. So it will take a bit of time. It's going to take you maybe 2 to 3 minutes to rearrange it. But that shouldn't happen a lot, especially because a lot of the things that you're doing is just asking them to cut. So it won't really mess things up whatsoever. So you're good regarding that. And table-wise, you don't necessarily need a table as well. As I mentioned, you can just do it like this, have them dribble, have them look, you remember, etc. Right? So it's really not restricting at all in regards of practicality. Now let's move on to where to perform. So where can you perform this? This can be performed shortly pretty much anywhere. You can play this super small on the street. You can play this super small table to table. You can play this big on cabaret stage or parlor. For example, for my routine, I can make it play for 5 minutes and make it really mysterious and really interesting and really engaging for everyone. So you can really play this as small or as big as you want. And if you're familiar or own other projects like MSP or ABC, which also have really good instructional videos and ideas that that this doesn't have, right? There's certain routines in ABC that this doesn't have. But if you know that routine in ABC, you can apply it here. So you can literally make an act of maybe 5 to 10 minutes with these cards only in your pocket, which is really nice, but performing wise, pretty much anywhere. So having said all of this, what is the positives and negatives of this project? So first of all, let's start with the negatives. Negatives wise, one of the things that I find is a negative is that there's no instructional video for this. I am someone that learns much better through video than reading, and especially something like this that has like almost 500 pages to read, it gets a bit hard and it gets a bit hefty to do when I think it's much easier on video. Just to give you an example, if you go on Card Shark's YouTube, there's a live launch of this that they did. And in that, they teach you the 10 first cards in maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And those 10 cards in video took me 2 minutes to memorize forever. Whereas the next 10 took me maybe 20 minutes to memorize and be sure. So I'm someone that learns much easier kind of audibly and visually rather than by reading. So I really wish, especially for $75, I know you're getting a lot of things here. I kind of wish even maybe a 30-minute video just to maybe use the first 20 minutes of it to just have you learn the stack audibly and then give you like some quick routines. I wish that would have been included personally because it helps me learn much faster. Apart from that, I don't really have many critiques. So let's go to the positives. What are the positives? One, presentationally, this is great. The box that you get, the cards, the story, the additional props that you also receive in the PDFs that you can print out are great. The effects that you can do with this are great. The cards are super well printed. They're super interesting to do. It's relatively easy to do if you can learn the stack. It has a lot of potential. It's pretty much practical in any scenario. You can perform this pretty much anywhere. You can play this as long or as little as you want, which is always a bonus for me. So overall, this is a very, very good project. So would I recommend Depicting Thoughts by ParaLabs? And what do I rate it out of 10? Would I recommend it? Yes. I think if you already own things like ABC or MSP, I think getting this is going to be the upgrade. I think that this is an upgrade to those effects, even though it is a bit harder because it's essentially double the amount of cards. It is overall an upgrade presentationally and in terms of the effect, because you can really tell that, you know, a stack this big is much easier if someone were to think, oh, he just memorized them, than a stack this big, right? So it is kind of a step forward and a leap forward in regards to those. I love those effects as well. As I told you, MSP is I do MSP more than I do this, but yeah, this is very good. So I fully recommend it. If you like mentalism effects, if you like these type of tricks, and if you're familiar with those and like those, I think this is a step forward in that direction. So I fully recommend it for anyone that's interested in it. So what do I rate it out of 10? This is very, very good. I think it's a great product and a great release. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Depicting Thoughts. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next review. Have a good one, and bye.